Hello and welcome. Our top focus is on Kenya. The United Nations Security Council has extended the deployment of a Kenya-led security mission to the Caribbean nation of Haiti for a year. The mission, called the Multinational Security Support, or the MSS, was authorized last October to assist the violence-hit Haiti's police force. Kenya volunteered to lead the policing mission and secured a UN authorization. It pledged to deploy 1,000 police officers in the Caribbean nation. However, it currently has around 400 police officers on the ground. Nairobi says the number is expected to grow to around 2,500.
With the renewed mandate, the mission is poised to create the conditions for the Haitian authorities to secure the country and undertake social and economic reconstruction. But for this to happen, the MSS must rapidly achieve its envisaged full deployment of 2,500 personnel, up from the current 410 officers. However, the deployment and sustained operations of the mission require substantial resources.
Other nations part of the mission include Jamaica, the Bahamas, Antigua and Barbuda, Bangladesh, Benin, Chad and Guinea. Now, this is not a UN-led peacekeeping mission. The calls for turning the Kenya-led mission into a UN-led mission have met with resistance. These calls, backed by the US, were dropped from Monday's UN Security Council resolution due to opposition from Russia and China. The two countries, which hold veto power on the Council, said the multinational police mission should be given more time to establish itself. They also called on the Kenya-led mission to hasten the process of restoring peace in the Caribbean nation. The 15-member UNSC, however, unanimously called on all nations to provide additional voluntary contributions and support to the mission. The renewal of the mission comes as gang violence continues in the tiny Caribbean nation of Haiti. Though gangs have long existed in Haiti, the situation worsened after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. The gangs then tightened their grip and used looting, rape, kidnappings and killings as a way to assert their power. They now control 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. As per the UN, at least 3,661 people have been killed in Haiti in the first half of this year. Nearly 580,000 people have been displaced due to gang violence. The Kenya-led mission aims to restore order in the nation, make the environment suitable for aid delivery, and to create conditions for free and fair elections. Kenya has a history of sending peacekeepers to volatile regions, including Mozambique, Namibia, Liberia, and Somalia. However, this is the first time the nation sent forces to a different continent. Many analysts see this as a way for Nairobi to raise its global profile. Kenya is eyeing to become a dependable ally that is willing to help other countries. However, deploying forces to other parts of the world has not been favored by all Kenyans. Kenya's opposition has accused President William Ruto's government of failing to secure his own country first. They also say authorities are deploying police in contradiction to the Constitution, which allows only military deployments. As per reports, the MSS mission has helped the Haitian police achieve some success in retaking areas in the capital of Port-au-Prince. However, these successes are limited. Will a renewed Kenya-led mission fulfill its goal? And how will it benefit Nairobi? Now, for more on this, we have with us Dismas Makua, who is a political risk analyst, joining us live from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
Now, what are the primary objectives of the Kenyan-led multinational force in Haiti, and how have they evolved since the initial deployment?
Well, number one, Kenya is a very strong democracy, and Kenya has got a strong constitution. So initially, when the UN and the United States requested Kenya to come up and support this, there was a mixed reaction, and in fact, authorities were taken to courts, and the process was delayed for a while. but eventually the High Court gave the green light and the mission was deployed to Haiti. And really, the principal reason for their mission is to assist the Asian authorities come up with a very strong law enforcement infrastructure. And at the moment you have a strong law enforcement structure, then it means you can easily assist in the gang fights. Number two, create an environment for peaceful and free and fair elections in Haiti. And number three, give the Haitians, security of mind so that they can go on with their businesses. And the Kenyan mission then started doing their preparations. So in fact, the team that you have in Haiti is not the normal police officers. These are specialized police officers with very superior training, and they've got capacity to deal with gangs. They've got capacity to set up the law enforcement infrastructure, and also they've got capacity to engage in citizen and stakeholder participation.
Right. And Dismas, how has the presence of the Kenyan troops impacted the security situation in Haiti, particularly in relation to the gang violence and the overall stability?
Well, according to reports from Haiti and according to reports from the United Nations as well as the Kenyan Police Service, from the time they arrived, they've made very good progress in managing the gangs. So they've had a very fierce engagement with the gangs and they've prevailed. So they've restored security in many parts of Port-au-Prince. And then number two, they're working now with other members of the multinational team to ensure that there are very structured and agile conversations between the key players. Because for this mission to be a success, while you've got the mission there from Kenya and other countries, but really the solution is within from the local authorities, as well as the key stakeholders, as well as the citizens and partners. So they've created for that kind of conversation to take place. And when President Ruto visited Haiti a few days ago, he gave out a very good report card that they've made very good progress. However, more needs to be done. So far, we've got about 400 specialized police officers. Ideally, the number is supposed to be 2,500. And on top of that, the mission is facing three challenges. Number one is capacity, meaning that they don't have sufficient funds for their resources, and also they do not have equipment. But Kenya is ready to support according to the analysts as well as the leadership in Kenya, Kenya has put on Gear 5, and as soon as the capacity is made available in terms of equipment as well as funding, then the number will be up to 2,500. And also there's been conversations on why Kenya decided to support this mission, and also been conversations that in fact such a mission has not taken place outside Kenya. But Kenya has got experience both from for the military officers as well as the police officers. And Kenya being a responsible global player, when you are called upon to go and support your neighbor, whether it's a neighbor down the road or in another continent, then you create an environment for you to do so. And also there are some critics and analysts who have said that you need to sort out the issues back at home before you go to an international level. And in a theory that is perfect, but there is no country in the world that has sorted out, issues of law enforcement back at home, and they've got a clean check. So it's possible for the Kenyan authorities to make sure that Kenya is secured, and at the same time give help to the neighbor.
Right, Dismas. And what are the implications of extending the Kenyan troops' mandate for another year, both for Haiti and for Kenya's international relations and domestic policies?
Well, I see it from threefold. It means that Kenya will have the opportunity to engage in ideas cross-pollination and learn from best practices. So you'll have many more Kenyan specialized police officers being trained for the international assignment. So at the end of the day, Kenya will have a very big pool of experienced and knowledgeable specialized officers and capacity maybe for future missions. Now, everybody in Kenya is agreed that going to Haiti was, in fact, a good thing. Initially, there was a lot of skepticism as to whether it was going to be a success. Initially, people feared that the Kenyan specialized police officers will be coming in body bags, but with time, there is now evidence that in fact they are doing a very good job. And then obviously at an international level, Kenya is earning international credentials. Kenya is enhancing its international relations. And this is because when President Ruto took office, he said he's going to come up with a very agile foreign policy. And it appears to me that this is part of it. That when you're a dependable international player and you are called upon to support an international mission, then you are available. Obviously, from
Right.
a marketing and a brand perspective,
Yes.
when Kenya sent out the mission, then Kenya has been part of the global conversation. So one would imagine that every citizen in the
Yes.
world knows that there's a country called Kenya, and Kenya is a dependable global player.
Dismas, thank you very much for being with us on the show and for sharing your views. Very much appreciated.
My pleasure.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election, explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.